everyone, and welcome to my first weekly haul of 2019. Despite it being 2019, a lot of these books are just physical books that I acquired towards the end of 2018, as I never did actually get around to filming a book haul of all the stuff that I got around then. On top of that, there are so many books that I got in 2018 that are just gonna have to just remain a mystery because there's so many, and at this point it would just be ridiculous trying to catch up. So this week I'm just showing you all the physical books that I got towards the end of 2018, along with the couple of books that I have acquired so far in 2019. I've been quite good. I'm trying to be better this year, so hopefully these each week will only be short videos. So the first book I have to show you today is The Little Book of Bob, Life Lessons from a Streetwise Cat by James Bowen. This is a non-fiction book, and if you've read like the Bob books in the past, obviously they've always been non-fiction, they've been about like James and Bob's experiences. This one's a little bit different. This one has like life advice in it. I will just pick a random page as like a kind of example. So page 9, friendship is a pair of new boots, and it gives you advice on like friendship and how Bob has led to friendship for James and just little things like that. This will be a really quick read. I'm sure it'll be really cute. Luke bought me this for my birthday, so I want to get around to this ASAP, and indeed it is. Is it? Yeah, I think it's in my January TBR. Also in my January TBR, I've got a book that Aoife sent me over at Fred Weasley Died Laughing, again for my birthday. This one is The Boy Made of Snow by Chloë Mayer. This is a historical fiction set in a English village in 1944, although we do jump around a couple of other time periods like a little bit before that as well. And this is so far heartbreaking. I am on page 88. I've got a little boy called Daniel, and we've got his mother Annabelle and then his father. His father has been sent away to war, and that's having a profound effect on the family because he doesn't seem to be coping with that very well. He sends letters home that sometimes seem a bit not quite him. He's been back to visit once and he looks skeletal and gaunt. Meanwhile, Daniel is trying his best as at 9, I think he's currently a 9-year-old on the bit I'm at right now, to kind of take care of his mum, but at the same time he's a child, he's got an overactive imagination, so he thinks he's protecting her from trolls. It becomes quite obvious that there's something more to that than just trolls as an adult, but to read how a kid is kind of analysing what's happening and kind of putting a creative spin on it is really adorable. Meanwhile, the mum Annabelle is struggling. It's not named, but she basically suffers with postnatal depression when she has Daniel. She is quoted as saying that she has no feelings for him at all. She struggles even now to really properly sort of have any sort of relationship with him. The one thing they enjoy together is reading fairy tales, which is how, of course, Daniel has got the crazy imagination that he has. Daniel also doesn't get on very well with other children. He's bullied in school. It's just a heartbreaking read, and it's quite a miserable read for the time of year. It's making January that bit more miserable, but I am, as bad as this sounds, really enjoying it and hoping to get this finished soon, to be honest. Another book that Aoife sent me for my birthday is The Gilded Cage by Vic James. This is the first book in a fantasy trilogy. I don't know an awful lot more about it than that. Something about aristocracy and a ruthless noble family. I don't know. She thinks that I'm really going to like this. I'm sure I've been interested in the past and have just kind of forgotten what it's about since then because I'm terrible. She didn't dare get me more than the first book though, but if I love this, I would definitely be getting the rest of the series. Next we have a mammoth of a book that I treated myself to because I couldn't resist the price, and that is Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. Of course, this is the final book in the Dark Artifices series. Meanwhile, just one of many million of books in the Shadowhunter Chronicles. I picked this up simply because it was better than half price, and I thought, I'm not going to get a better price than that. It was cheaper in the bookshop than on Amazon at the time, so I was like, I'm just going to grab it while I can. This is also on my January TBR. I don't expect to finish this in January, although that would be great if I could. Next we have a book that Luke got me for my birthday, and that is Becoming the Supervet by Noel Fitzpatrick. This is a non-fiction book. This is the vet that is featured on Supervet, if you've ever watched that. I went through a phase of watching it a little bit here and there last year and just like fell in love with his kind of dedication to the job as much as anything. If you ever wanted someone to look after your pet and to like be your vet, this is the guy you would want. He seems very down to earth despite kind of how famous he's almost become these days. He seems very dedicated not only to obviously trying to make animals better, but to also taking into consideration the owner's feelings. He understands that they are more than just a pet. They are part of the family. And I've got a feeling that this, on his journey of being a vet, is going to be quite heartbreaking at times, but I really just cannot wait to get stuck into this one. It will definitely be popping up in a TBR video in a month or two at most. The final physical book I have to show you today is another one that Aoife got me for my birthday, and that is The Restless Girls by Jessie Burton. Jessie Burton is obviously the author of The Miniaturist and The Muse. I own both those books, but I haven't yet got around to reading them. Aoife picked this up for me because she thought that I would love this, and indeed I, after flicking through, have no doubt that I'm gonna love it too. The illustrations are just delightful. The story itself seems adorable, and I mean, I need to lend my mum this at some point too, because there's a picture of a horse in it. If you're watching, Mum, there's a horse picture for you. It's such a beautiful book to own. Beyond that, the cover is delightful, but naked is also stunning. This is just a wonderful addition to have to my shelf. It'll be a quick read when I do get round to it, which will be another plus, because sometimes you really just need a quick read to catch up a little bit on your reading goal, and I'm sure that's going to be a need after I've read Queen of Air and Darkness. So again, this will be coming up on a TBR very soon. My goal this year is to try and keep on top of reading books that I have acquired, so I don't just haul books and never read them, because I am quite terrible for, at least in the vast majority of cases, doing that. So on to the books that I've acquired in 2019. The first one is The Fifth Letter by Nicola Moriarty. And I picked this up because it was on my to buy list on Kindle, and it was at 99p, and the whole reason this even made it onto my to buy list is because I adore Leanne Moriarty's writing, and this is her sister, so I've been wanting to check out one of her sister's works, as I'd heard that she'd got a couple that were published, and this one just happened to be the first one that I managed to get that was on offer. This book focuses on the idea of there being 4 friends, and that there's a secret between them and something to do with some letters. I don't know much more than that. I've got a feeling it's going to be like similar to Leanne Moriarty kind of vibes, and I can't wait to check this out. I feel like I've got quite a good mix here actually, because that's a book that I bought on Kindle. Meanwhile, I've also got one NetGalley book to show you this week, and that is Enchantee by Gita Trellis. And this one is a YA fantasy set in Paris in 1789. And the streets are filled with beggars, thieves, revolutionaries and magicians. There's magic, there's danger, there's history thrown in. I don't know much more than that, but the combination of all of that just makes it sound like it could be a really interesting one to pick up. If you're interested in this one, it's due to be published on the 21st of February. And just to really round this haul off, I've got one audiobook to show you this week too. So I'd got 4 Audible credits, and after uploading my video asking you for advice on, like, basically to pick my audiobook TBR, I didn't get any suggestions for any books that I didn't own already, and I was like, I've got 4 credits sat here, I should probably, you know, use one of them. So I always keep it at about 3 credits. I feel like that's a sensible thing to do so I don't start forgetting and start having credits expiring. So I was looking around, and I was looking at a series that I want to start that I haven't necessarily kind of got a hold of via any other means so far, and I'd narrowed it down to a few, so I started looking at the reviews, and then I stumbled across Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs, narrated by Jessie Bernstein. Now that's important because I was looking at the reviews of this audiobook, knowing full well that the book itself gets quite mixed reviews because some people think it's great, some people think it's just a load of rubbish. One of my friends in real life thinks that it's the best thing since sliced bread. Meanwhile, other people are like meh about it. So it was already one that I was having conflicting thoughts about. So I read the reviews and most people were moaning about the narrator and how they do really awful accents, and I'm thinking, I want to check this out for myself. It's worth wasting a credit for, to check out the narrator for this audiobook so I can kind of do a review. So if anyone else is kind of torn, then they've got an idea of someone else's opinion. Also, I've been really wanting to watch the film of this, but I wanted to read the book first, so this way I get the book out of the way one way or another, and if I don't enjoy the audiobook because of the narrator, I will then know to check out the book at least in another form, as opposed to just, if I decide that I don't like it because I think the story's rubbish, then I know to not bother in any other way. So I thought this was a win-win for me, and I'm also just really curious as to how bad this narrator can really be in terms of faking accents. So that is the end of this haul. Quite a mixed bag, as I said. I've got my physical ones from 2018, then kind of one Kindle book, one NetGalley book and one audiobook from this year so far in the last week. Let me know what books you have acquired either towards the end of 2018 or the beginning of 2019 so far. Let me know whether you're interested in any of these as well, or if you've already read them and you've kind of, especially actually if you've listened to the audiobook of Miss Peregrine's, I'd be really interested to hear about your experience with that. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe by clicking the image of me if you want to see more book reviews and other bookish content from me, and I will see you, what day are we on? Maybe tomorrow with a book review. Bye bye!